Good afternoon. Happy Friday. It is June 10th, and this is your weekly shout out. It's been a couple weeks since I've had a chance to sit down and do a couple takes, and apologize for the delay, and hope to catch up with a few things of what's going on with finance and IT with this weekly shout. It feels like summertime. Cal Poly grads running around when I was around at lunch with their families. Everyone excited about graduating, and a big step in everyone's life. I know we have a lot of people in the city whose family and kids are taking that big step, either graduated from elementary, middle school, high school, or into college. So kudos to everyone who's balanced that out and helped their family make those big next steps in their life. As we start to think about summertime, June always makes me think about budget. I guess that maybe I've been in this business a little bit too long. And speaking of that, we've got some things coming up at the City Council here next week. On Tuesday, we've got some big items. We've got the fund reviews for the enterprise funds, parking, transit, water, and wastewater. I'll be presenting the cost allocation plan, and huge kudos to Vilma and Tracy and Zena and the rest of the team for helping me do that. It was my first time, and while I was familiar with it, I really didn't get the methodology until we were kind of putting the icing on the cake and wrapping it up. Also on Tuesday, we've got the presentation of the Urban Water Management Plan by Utilities. Pretty big step in terms of how we're going to manage our water supplies and account for water into the future with new growth and development. And then on the 21st, we've got a couple introductions of key finance and IT staff. We've got an introduction of Kelly Medina and also of Michael Rainier. So if you have a moment and you want to join us at 6 o'clock, they'll be introduced that evening. And then we're also introducing Marcus Carloni as our new Special Projects Manager. Couple presentations, update from the police department, update from Cal Poly about what's going on campus. Everyone should note that if you're going up to the campus this summer, Grand Avenue is not going to be open to transportation or for travel, and you'll need to approach the university from California. Moving on the business items, we've got a presentation from our program twins, as they've been called over the decades. That's economic development and natural resources, and they'll be presenting updates of where they are with the economic development strategic plan and where we are with our natural resources program, with special emphasis on the major city goal. And then that night, it'll be a big step for the council on whether or not they want to endorse the proposed spending plan for the proposed self-help tax measure that's being forwarded to SLOCOG and the rest of the cities to the Board of Supervisors for their consideration. And then on the 12th of July, we don't have anything really set up for our regular agenda. And then on the 19th, we've got the Public Facilities Financing Plan and Box Art Review. And then after that, we kind of head off into kind of a quiet period so everyone can have time with family and friends. A couple quick shout outs what's going on, and I'll just cover what's going on this past week with Dawn, with IT. And I'll start off with Dawn, but we've been working on mobile applications for our fire hydrant inspection, and Mary has continued to work on some noise violation maps for PD, and she's cleared up to work with PD on crime statistics and analysis. Nicola has been working on creating a map of city-owned properties, and we've revised the Downtown Association address list. And thanks to Marcus and Nicola and Marjorie and the rest of the team for really getting some clarity on that. Haley's been working on reviewing her sample iFix screens with WDIS, which I have no idea what that means, but hopefully someone does. We created 9 trend screens for WWCS. And then Dornish, moving on to Dornish finalized the scope for the radio site surveys. Nick has been completed the Harris radio testing, and he's moving forward with the police driver's license scanner purchase. And last but not least, he's replacing the universal power supply for Fire Station 2 and the room remote. Lynn's deployed 7 new VPNs in community development. Thanks, Lynn, for getting that done and keeping up with all the growth and changes in office space. And Eric has been working on doing the imaging for the department head laptops and then on the PD voice recording project. And then Eric and Simon are preparing for the EnerGov upgrade. Super excited to see this happen. And this will allow us a lot of things to happen with EnerGov, most notably deploying iPads out in the field for inspections, and then also opening up our Citizens Access portal. So pretty big things going on the EnerGov side. And thanks both to Eric and Simon for making that happen. And soon as that upgrade happens and we get our cap loaded, I think festivities are in order for all those involved, because it has been quite a road to get to where we are today, and it's really been through Eric, Steve, Simon, and everyone's efforts that have made this happen. It's been a long list of people to get us where we are. On the finance side, we're moving forward with the annual renewal of business licenses, and Marjorie and the team put together a great plan. They're kicking that off. Michael completed his first payroll by himself, and was fairly complex, and which has been great, and it's allowed Lynn to kind of move back and take care of some more advanced accounting responsibilities and catch up on bank and reconciliation with the rest of the team, and also gives her the space and time to take a much needed vacation. Many of you got an email from me earlier this week that we got an award from GFOA for our CAFR. Huge kudos to Vilma and the rest of the team to make that happen. And Marjorie's moving forward with reviewing of RFPs for collection services. And then we've been receiving a lot of inquiries from banks who are interested in being our next treasury now that BFA has given us notice that they intend to not be our treasury as of September 30th, 2016. We've been doing a lot of outreach on the motion presentations. And we've been getting some great feedback. I think we've given it now to almost every single department except for Public Works. And we've gotten just wonderful feedback. Parks and Rec, actually, there was applause at the end of the presentation about how excited people were to think about new technology to facilitate a lot of the business transactions we do today by paper. Upcoming milestone is continuing with process improvements is GFOA will be back on site on June 20th and the 21st. They'll be working on 3 different areas, primarily 2 process improvements. One is payroll and the other one is bank reconciliation. Corey and Ryan continue to work on process improvements for purchasing. And if you haven't heard, we've hired a technical writer to help come into finance, and they're helping to put together some technical and desk manuals for all of the desks that we have here at the city, so that we have desk manuals and procedures from everything from AP to payroll to bank reconciliation to business license renewal to a lot of the routine things that we're doing today. I really appreciate everything that's been going on in the last couple of weeks, and I know there's been a big push on both the IT and finance side, not only with budget, but on the accounting and on the IT side to wrap up projects. I've been working on evaluations, and I was really excited to see that I think it was 21 of the 25 top 25 IT projects was done, and that speaks immensely to that team. And as I think about finance as well, how far we've come, and in terms of where we were back in September of last year, getting a CAFR done, getting a mid-year budget presentation and a supplemental budget, that all combined with putting together an assessment for the finance and IT department, GFOA, is fairly remarkable. And stop by, say hi. Hopefully everyone's going to have a moment to get away from the office this summer and spend time with family and friends. Always interested in seeing and hearing where people are going and learning about what's going on in people's lives. So if you don't see me, come by and say hi. Take care.